Greetings, old school magic players, and welcome to the Four Horsemen.
Greetings, old school magic players. Welcome to the Four Horsemen on a Thursday night. I'm the Chatster. I'm here with John Eckerberry. How you doing, John?
Hello. How's it going?
Good, man. We're ready to do some Tournament 11 quarterfinals. Your match versus Nick Breyer tonight. And we're going to be getting to the video in just a minute. We're going to be running our next tournament coming up starting in February, but this tournament number 11 is wrapping up in just a few days. February 10th is our kind of end date, and we're giving away some great prizes. And knock on wood, we're hoping Peter does not win again. Right, John?
Well, we'll see.
We shall see. Anyway, check us out at fourhorsemenmagic.com or facebook.com/group/fourhorsemenmtg. For the tournament recap, we started this back in January 13th, and we are in week 3 right now. We're going to show the quarterfinals brackets, and the players are working through their quarterfinals matches this week. Hopefully we can get them all done this weekend. Quick look at the brackets. We had 33 players register for this tournament. We had a couple people drop. You can see the top 24 here. Nick Breyer won his bracket and group. Damien won his 3-0. All these guys are 3-0. Mike Clements won his 3-0. Christopher Zach 3-0. Terry Hutchins and Peter Soltez all won their groups. We had 7 groups because we had so many players this month. And then William Kuhn won his group as well, 2-1. And so there were also several players tied. Me, Roger, and John Eckelberry were all tied at exact same percentages across the board for basically tied with William for slots 7 and 8. And so what we ended up having to do was we had to do kind of a playoffs. I guess you call it a playoffs for those slots that we were tied for. And you can see the brackets here. This is the round 1 is the playoffs. Roger played John and I played William, and John beat Roger 2-0 and William beat me 2-0. So John proceeded to the quarterfinals, and Nick was undefeated in his group matches. So John and Nick were paired up, and that's the match we're going to be covering today. We'll also be doing videos of Chris versus Terry, Damien versus William, and Mike versus Peter. We did the Mike and Peter game the other day. Interesting match, and we'll be releasing that video here shortly. So, John, you versus Nick. You've made it to the quarterfinals in many of these tournaments, and you've made it to the semifinals a few times, and you've won. Once or twice?
Just once. I won tournament 3.
Yeah. Okay. Tournament number 3. Way back in the olden Wild West days.
Back in the Wild West. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for the overview here, we've got Mono Blue Fires, which Nick is running, and John, you're running Blue Green Ogre Aggro with the Ghazban.
You have to remember also that nobody since tournament number 5 has won except for Peter.
Which is really, really kind of getting old at this point. But, he deserves it. I mean, he's put in a ton of work. He's built some of the most interesting and innovative different decks. And, Peter, he talks to a lot of people. He plays a lot of test games. He spends a lot of time tinkering and tweaking, more so than I think a lot of other players, and the results speak for themselves. So let's get into the deck tech real quick. John, you've got Nick's deck available there. Yeah?
I do.
Yeah, so what do you think about Nick's mono blue build? It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's very straightforward. It's just mono blue flyers with a few tempo cards as backup. A few cheap counters. Boomerang is a card that I really like, and then Time Elemental. It's funny. I played a very similar deck in testing when we were deciding what decks to play, and I opted not to play this deck because I felt like it was really bad against everything I tested it against. But clearly, it is good against other things. It's good against the deck that I played, and it seems to be good against everything else Nick played because he hasn't lost a single game yet.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, very.
I think he's made most of the same card choices that I would make. You and I both really like Clockwork Avian, and he's not playing that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. It's really good with Mana Drain, and it's also good if you've got Fell War Stones. You can play a 4th turn Clockwork Avian, or even a 2nd turn. Well, maybe a 3rd turn Clockwork Avian if you Mana Drain on if they go first and you Mana Drain on your 2nd land. You can play a land and tap 5 and get a 3rd turn Clockwork, which is really strong. And it's a good Mana Drain sink. Like, I find sometimes I know Mana Drain can be challenging to play against, but I played some games tonight on our Thursday night meetup where the Mana Drain just mana burned me and I lost the game because I didn't have anything to use it with. And
right.
Clockwork's really good as a mana drain sink if you don't have a Jaloom Tome. He's not running Mishra's Factory, so if he gets in a situation he needs one of these Tetravis or Azure Drake or Ghost Ship or something.
That's weird that he doesn't have the single factory in there. I wonder why.
Yeah, no factory is kind of shocking. I guess because all his creatures fly. He's also not running Triskelion, I guess because it doesn't fly. Time Elemental doesn't fly, but it's got such a useful functionality. He's proxied that and proxied the Ghost Ships. Ghost Ships, like a readily available dark common. I thought Nick would have some of those. Maybe he sold his set to somebody. I know he does a lot of wheeling and dealing. And he's got the signature.
Yeah, I mean, it was even reprinted in 4th, so like it's not a hard card to come by, but it always does crack me up when these aren't super expensive decks because we're not playing any ABU cards, so there's not a lot of expense here on the table, but it is always funny when like he's got 4 Mana Drains there, but he doesn't have Ghost Ship, right? Like he doesn't have a dollar worth of Ghost Ships, but
yeah. I think these Italian Mana Drains signed are new for Nick, and I bet you he's been trading and buying and stuff, and I know he's got his signature service, so he probably sent those off to get them signed by Mark. And he's got the Anson signed Maze of Ith, and then the Mark Poole signed Collector's Edition Islands, which is cool.
Yeah.
I do like the boomerangs. The other spicy card here is the Force Spike. He's running 3 Force Spike main deck. And the 2 Time Elementals, those guys, if you don't have Chain Lightning or something and it's mid to late game, they can it's like a repeat boomerang for the rest of the game. And I know you've played Time Elemental and seen how good they could be.
Yeah, it's a card that I really like. It's a card that I played as a kid and liked, and a card that I still like now. It feels a little bit win more, but if you can stick one and they don't have an answer for it, it just kind of locks the game out.
Yeah.
And then anything else that they play, you just bounce back at end of turn and keep doing what you're doing, and they don't really get to ever do anything.
Yeah, it can be real frustrating. And if you combine it with things like Maze of Ith and Boomerang, and then he's got counterspells for anything that might give him a problem, you can see how you can really get the lockdown going. 3 Jaloom Tomes,
and
too.
And counterspells are all nice and cheap, too. They're all just like 1 and 2, so he can still stay on his kind of aggro plan of tapping out to play stuff and still hold up, 1 or 2 mana to play a counterspell.
Yeah, that's right. He's got a great mana ramp with the Flying Man costing 1, the Zephyrs costing 2, the Serendibs, the Time Elementals, and the Jaloon Tomes costing 3, the Force Spikes also costing 1, and then all the Boomerang, Remove Soul, Mana Drains. Interesting he's running 3 Remove Soul and not 4 and 3 Force Spike. I think I would have naturally just wanted to do 4 Remove Souls because they're very good.
I think he just trimmed here and there in order to, make enough slots. Like there's only 3 Azure Drakes, there's 2 Time Elementals,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3 and 3 on the counters.
Yeah, and since he's...
I think that's fine. I mean, I think you've got 4 mana drains, right? So like the remove souls are kind of, 5, 6, and 7. You don't necessarily need 8. I think I like the tempo, the idea of breaking tempo better by having those 4 spikes that cost 1 less.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the boomerangs. Anything that he misses, he can either time elemental or boomerang and then counter it the next time it gets played.
Sure. Yeah, so it's an interesting deck, and not running Triskelion or Clockworks and running the 2 Tetravis for the 2 robot flyers, and then the finishing off with the strip and the maze. So it's a very simple, straightforward build, and Nick's done really well with it. Okay,
Indeed.
John, on to your deck.
I chose to go a little lower to the ground and play a blue-green aggro build.
Yeah.
A version of this deck got played way back in the very first tournament by Rob Hackney.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually better than I think because it had 4 strips and 4 factories.
Yeah.
And this does not have that, but I thought maybe I could supplement and get a little weirder. Like I'm playing Ghazban Ogre, which can potentially be good.
Yeah, he's like Savannah Lion.
He can be. And I don't know. I think the snake's really good. One of the things I like about the deck is it's not all flying. It's split between ground and flying. So if people start dropping, Island of Wak Wak and stuff that we've been seeing a lot more of lately, you can still get damage in.
Mm-hmm.
Wailuli Wolf is really, really key to allow you to make your Serendib. Because I feel like a lot of matches come down to both players having a Serendib, and then they just bounce off of each other. But the Wailuli Wolf breaks that parity. It allows you to have a 4/5, that can bust through the line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I liked it. It was pretty good. It's a very like glass cannon-y kind of deck that either comes out super explosively or just kind of doesn't do anything and peters out, which is, I don't know. I really, having an aggro decks that don't have any reach at the end of the game is always kind of tough for me, but I did like this deck. It was all right.
So you've got 32 creatures, is that right?
Probably something crazy like that. There's a lot of creatures.
That is a lot.
As one of the things I did when I was building is I just kept taking cards out and adding more creatures. I'm like, I need more creatures. I need more creatures. I need more creatures. Because like I want to play multiple creatures every turn if I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, the games that I'm successful typically, I just vomit my hand and then, hope you can outrace them before they really do much of anything.
Yeah. And you've got some of the good mechanic combos where the Scavenger Folk, the Naf's Asp, the Zephyr Falcon, the Flying Men, all are 1/1s which can be pumped by the Pendlehaven. They can be increased by the Unstable, and they can be pumped by the Wailuli Wolf. So you can get a lot of damage in really fast, and if your opponent doesn't stabilize, they're just going to lose real quick.
Yeah, and there's not like a whole lot of board wipe in this format. I mean, it does exist, but it's kind of interesting, like how many games I had 7 or 8 creatures on the table very quickly, and then was just beating in with all of them. And what do you do against that, really? Like, even if you can stick a couple of blockers, it's too late.
Yeah, And deserts can be really good, but when you have Pendlehaven and Wailuli Wolf, you can just get around it.
Yeah, Desert is still really good against me, though. I mean, like, I have so many 1/1s. Like, I feel like a card like Pyrotechnics, which I fortunately didn't ever face in this tournament, you know, had I run up against that, it could have been a real problem. They could just 4-for-1 me.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, so.
I wonder if we're going to start seeing people putting sandstorms in their sideboard.
Oh, boy, I don't know. I mean, I did think about that when I went into this tournament. I was like, you know, Sandstorm's just going to, like, wreck this deck. I knew Peter was playing it, but
Yeah.
I thought, well, maybe I won't play Peter. He's not in my pod. Maybe somebody else will beat him, and then I'll just never play against him. But more likely, and what actually happened is I didn't play him, but I lost before I got that far. So he's still in the tournament, and I'm not. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, there goes the spoiler.
Yep, there goes the spoiler. I don't win this match.
All right, so mono blue Fliers versus blue green Ogre Aggro. John, you ready to switch over to the? You ready to switch over to the tournament video?
Yeah. Tell me when to fire it
up.
And
you got your gear and your playback set at 1.5, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we're trying out a new way of doing pre-recorded videos tonight that we think would give a better video quality. And John and I are going to not have to be uploading video while we're sharing screens and all that, doing the commentating. So hopefully this will work out better.
Well, I think we already hit a snag unless you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing, because my video is just frozen.
Your video's frozen?
Yeah, the video that we're watching is just frozen.
Oh, really? On YouTube?
Yeah.
Can you refresh?
Which is weird, because I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen a YouTube video freeze like that.
Okay, well, we can...
In fact, my entire browser window is frozen now. I'm going to have to close that browser and go back into YouTube. That's so crazy.
Weird. Okay. Well,
I guess we'll have to start it over.
Yeah, we didn't get that far in. It'll be fine. I'll just rewind it.
Okay, so how am I gonna find the one? I'm gonna have to go back into Messenger.
Oh yeah, I sent it to you via Messenger.
All right.
Weird. YouTube froze on you, huh? That's odd.
Well, it's funny. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I had two different browsers open, but I had my Whereby playing in Chrome, and I had my YouTube playing in Firefox, and Firefox crashed. Oh, that's not what I want. Okay. Bear with me here. It's funny. We're like, hey, we're doing this a new way. Oh, yeah. It doesn't work.
Well, playing a YouTube video usually doesn't cause any issues. That's why
okay, so I went in and snagged a link, but it was not the right link. So it must be this one right here. Yeah. So we'll go over here. All right. I'm gonna have to readjust.
Yeah, do your playback. 1.5.
I gotta turn the volume off. I have to switch the playback speed. Oh yeah, I'm at 1.5. I'm got the volume on it muted, and I'm ready to hit play.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, here we go. Off to the races once again.
I hope 1.5's not too fast.
It makes the shuffling look funny, but I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I feel like most games can probably be watched at that. You know, there's usually a bit of conversation going on, and sometimes people take a little time to make decisions. Although Nick and I both were pretty efficient. I mean, this match is only minutes long, so we didn't dilly really. And there's not really, I mean, there's not a whole lot of decisions to make in the lines of play. Like, my only real decisions to make are like, how can I play more cards every turn? Like, what's the most number of cards I can play? Then that's what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick's deck is just full of guys with 4 toughness, which really just is really hard for my deck to deal with. Like, once he plays a couple of creatures, there's just really nothing I can do.
Well, you're starting off strong here.
I've got like, yeah, I come out the gate pretty fast.
Got the Scavenger Folk and the Nas Ass, and so he's removed souling the Scavenger Folk. Interesting, because he didn't have a bunch of artifacts.
Yeah, which I found interesting. I mean, it's probably just a tempo thing because he knows he's gonna tap out on his turn anyway.
Yeah.
For a Serendib, so it's better to do something rather than nothing. But it's funny that the Scavenger Folk bites it because he's not particularly relevant. Like, the snake is so much better. But he had to counter, because what if I didn't play anything else after that, you know?
So you're.
But like, look at this. Like, yeah, go ahead.
He took damage there. What was that? Because you attacked him and you didn't pay 1.
Yeah, he had to take an extra point of damage from the snake because he wanted to be able to play his Serendib.
Got it.
But now, like, I'm already locked out of the game basically because I've got. So I like to play Sylvan instead of playing another creature because I need to find some kind of answer to the Serendib,
right,
which I really just don't have. I was really surprised he attacked here, but then he just plays another dib.
Right.
And I mean, how do I beat that? How do I beat double dib?
Double dib, yeah. I mean, you need a dib of your own with a.
And then I'm pretty sure. Well, and this is the funny thing. I have a dib in my hand right now. In fact, I have 2 dibs in my hand right now. But I'm now behind. Like, and so now, like, I'm just never gonna catch up.
Yeah, unless you get an unstable.
Yeah. So I like to play 2 creatures instead of playing a dib.
Okay, that's smart. Yeah.
And hopefully I can like start to get in, but it's just already too late. And then I'm pretty sure he plays a 3rd dib here in a second.
Well, if you could get in with the Pixies, you could tap him with the Wolf and make him a 3/2. And maybe if he doesn't pay the 1 from the Nasp ass, I mean, there is a way you can get in, especially if you came into an unstable. So you're down to 11 here real fast, but he's also taking 2 per turn. Oh, he drops an Azure Drake.
Yeah, it's just it's a bad situation for me. Like, his creatures are all just better than mine. So I go ahead and finally play a dib, but it's too little too late already at this point.
And why not just go ahead and attack and lose a creature and get some damage in?
I think I do. Or do I end up passing?
Yeah, I mean, you could just come in and leave the... You could leave the Wailuli Wolf tapped. No, you need...
So if I go in, I'm just gonna lose the Pixies.
Right.
And he's gonna take 3, which is what I do, but it just sucks. Like, it sucks to attack with 3 guys and then use a 4th card. So I'm using 4 cards to do 3 damage when he can just do 3 damage with 1 card. You know, like, it's just bad.
Well, this
aggro's just bad in this format, and I don't know why I keep trying to force it. Like, there's no good aggro deck in this format.
Well, there are lots of aggro decks that have made it into the quarterfinals and semifinals for sure. It's just that we haven't seen one win first. It's like they're good and they're competitive until you come up against like a really killer deck.
Yeah, until they're not.
Okay.
Like, this is the kind of deck that if I play against somebody that's playing something kind of janky, or if they even just like stumble
Oh man,
early or whatever.
another Azure Drake. Right? Yeah, it's not super.
So I was able there to kill. He came in with everything, and I was able to kill his Serendib because I have the wolf to pump my Serendib. But you know, again, it's just way too late. Like he's just got all these flyers out, and like, what am I gonna do about that? Nothing. I'm just gonna lose.
Yeah.
So
well, now you've got your own Serendib, but your life is so low.
Yeah.
4 to 6 though. I mean, the life totals are pretty close. And there's a.
And I have another Serendib in my hand. But I can't,
if only you had an unstable mutation there and you could put it on your Zephyr, that would have maybe saved you a turn. Oh wait, he just went up by 2 life?
No, he went down.
Well, it was 4 to 6 a minute ago. Now he's 4 to 8.
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, the Azure Drakes.
Maybe I thought he was gonna take the damage from the snakes, and then he didn't.
Oh, that's what it is. Did he pay the?
I don't know.
Yeah, and for
he only had to pay for 1 because he blocked 1.
Right, 1 just dead. Yeah.
By 1.
Yeah, Azure Drake is really strong. It's so hard to get rid of the 4 defense. But you do have a way here. You have a Serendib that can be a 4/5, or sorry, yeah, a 4/5, which is really strong. And you can block 1 and munch. You can kill 1 of the Drakes and survive. Yeah, so oh god, was that his 3rd Serendib?
Yeah, he just like every single turn of this game, he just plays either a Dib or a Drake. Man. Like I just can't beat it.
Wow. Yeah, and your own Serendib's gonna kill you here, anyways. But he gets in. He's gonna get in for at least 5 damage next turn in the air. So that's game.
Yep.
Man, that was fast.
Yeah, my deck's.
And he went first too, right? Nick went first, so he won the roll.
Well, he didn't win the roll. He made a big deal about the fact that he had the higher seed, and so he was going to go first. And I said, that's fine. I don't mind that, because we probably should be doing that anyway. But it was funny, because he was like, oh, I haven't gone first at all in this tournament. I'm glad I'm going to get to go first. And I'm thinking, well, my deck really wants to go first, and if I don't, like, it's a huge disadvantage for me. And so, like, it was actually really bad for me that I didn't go first in game 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also could have lost a die roll too, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's while you guys are sideboarding, let me jump over to the decks. So I've got Nick's deck up here. Maybe we should go to your deck first and tell us what you're going to sideboard against Nick.
Not much. I just take out I think I took out the Ghazban ogres and put in
mana drains.
Put in mana drains, I think.
And you know he's probably running mana drains. So did you board in the flash counters?
No, it's just too many. Like, it just dilutes the strategy too much. I actually think my sideboard sucks. Like, because one of the ways that I ended up with the sideboard was, like I was saying earlier, I just kept cutting cards for more creatures because I wanted more and more creatures.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, I just ended up with all the cards that I cut. I just jammed into my sideboard. And I'm like, well, if I need those, I can bring them in. But really, I'd rather just play more creatures. So, like, I found the boomerangs really helpful earlier in the tournament. I thought that those were really cool tempo breakers. I don't really care as much for the rest of the cards in my board, including the mana drains. Like, it's just not what the deck wants to be doing. Like, you don't want to be sitting there with 2 mana up. You want to just be playing stuff.
Right. The only thing you can actually use your mana drain for is Serendib, and if you don't have that, you're going to burn if you don't have a factory. So, yeah, mana drains could be a big disadvantage. All right. You guys are shuffling up here. I think if Nick
I think they would have been better as remove souls. Not that I want to bring that card in either, but, like, in this build, I probably should have been playing, like, remove souls and 4 spikes and neither of those things made it into the 75
And in
because I
Nick's
had
deck,
to cut something.
in Nick's deck picture, I actually don't. He sent me a version of his deck picture without his sideboard, and that's the picture I have here. So, I think we're gonna have to just guess at what he's gonna be sideboarding.
Well, I can tell you, he let me pull up his deck photo here real quick. He oh, that's tournament 10. Hold on, let me get to tournament 11 here. Okay, so he's got a bunch of proxies in his sideboard.
All right,
I don't think
you guys are starting the match on the video now, John.
none of them are relevant. I don't
Yeah.
think he brings any of them in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I think he's just got your number already. He doesn't need to sign in anything.
Yeah, all he needs to do is play like a 2-4 or a 3-4 like every turn, and I just can't get past it.
Yeah, well, this is a good start. Flying man early, if he doesn't have one, is good.
I mean, it's fine.
And the Wailuli Wolf, okay. And you elected to do Wailuli Wolf instead of getting in for the extra damage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 1 point of damage is worth not playing a card on your turn. I mean, had I had another 1-drop in my hand, I probably would have pumped the Flying Man and played a 1-drop. But I feel like Wailuli Wolf is probably one of the more important cards in this matchup.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get it down so that if I was able to get a Serendib down, I could run it into his X4s and break the wall.
Yeah.
But it all just doesn't matter. It's just like turn 3 dib. Okay,
turn 3
cool.
dib. Yep. Yeah, you need a unstable to have any chance here at all.
Also, I just get screwed because like I can't play anything else because I don't have any more land except for I have another Pendelhaven.
Yeah.
I only have 2 Pendelhavens in the deck, and I've got the other Pendelhaven in my hand right now. And
well, you could have tapped it and pumped him and then played the other one.
I do that next turn to cast something.
He blocked.
I guess this turn, if I really wanted to, I could have double pumped, but I wanted to play another creature rather than.
But you played unstable on your Flying Man, and he elected to block with his dib, so he's got something else in mind. He must have an Azure Drake.
Yeah, he's just got like endless X4 flyers.
Yeah, the Azure Drake, which is better. He doesn't
like, and it's funny because I think he ends up blocking this one too, and like it just doesn't matter because he just has like an endless string of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought I might actually be able to like do it this game because I keep coming in and I'm very surprised that he keeps blocking, but he does.
Yeah, and you've got the Wailuli Wolf.
Too.
Yeah, so you can make him a 4/4 basically. Yeah. Okay, so he blocks that one. And you're taking damage every turn from your City of Brass. Which
I don't care about at all. Yeah. Like, he's like, oh, you're at 15 and I haven't even done anything. It's like, yeah, life's a research. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It only matters, like, when you get down to the end of the game. Like, my life total is pretty irrelevant.
But you got a pretty good army this time, and okay, there's a Zephyr Falcon, and that is a Time Elemental. It's Proxy.
Yeah, and this Time Elemental just absolutely screws me. Like, I end up just losing to it, basically.
Well, yeah, because now he's got 5 mana, maybe 6 next turn, so now he has all the mana to pop stuff back.
I can't believe, like, look at all the stuff I have out, though. I can't believe I lose this game, but, like, it's crazy to me that I have all this stuff out, but I've only done 4 damage before this turn.
Well, you were mana screwed early on. It was the 2 lands that slowed you down. Alright, so
and I have a dib in my hand right now, and I'm thinking, man, maybe I should have done the double, the trick with the 2.
Yeah, so you can get the dib into play.
The dib instead. But I just thought that I'd draw another land by now, and it just doesn't ever happen for me in time.
Yeah, if you had tapped the Pendlehaven, played the other one, tapped it, then you could have played the dib. Okay,
I would
so
have had to not play the unstable mutation that turn, but that actually would have been fine.
so he blocks the 2/2 guy, and you get in for 3 with the Pixies and 2 with the Zephyrs.
Yeah.
So he got in for some damage, bringing him to 11, but now he's got 6 mana and the Time Elemental.
It just seems like I should be able to win this game, but
Oh
like
wow,
he's
another Azure Drake.
just got too many guys that I can't get through.
Yeah. Well, there's your 3rd land finally. And you got a Nasp ass last turn, so you can hit with 5 attackers. Oh, no, and the Zephyr is attacking too, yeah, because you can make him a 2/3 and then a 3/4.
Yeah, but not a 4.
Not a
I
not
can't
a
make
4/4.
anybody a 4. I can't make anybody a 4 to kill that stupid Azure Drake.
That's why the Azure Drake's so tough. Same thing for Ghost Ship. Okay, so he blocks your Pixies, and you get in for what? 1, 2, 3. So
Yeah,
bringing
and
him to
then
7. You're getting him
one
low.
more if he doesn't pay here, which I guess he must.
Oh, he didn't pay. So yeah, he should have taken another point and gone to 6.
Yeah, he probably just
And
I think I even asked about it. I think I was like, "Are you sure you don't want to pay?" And he's like, "No, I want to play something." But
well, is that a
I
Ghost
don't know.
Ship
So I think he
proxy?
should actually be at 6 here. But
Is that a Ghost Ship
it's a
proxy
Ghost
you're
Ship.
playing? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the next.
So now there's just like no way.
Yeah, because now you're kind of even. Well, you do have the Serendib though. The Serendib can be a 4/5, but next turn he's gonna have enough mana to regenerate Ghost Ship.
It can, but he can just chump it with his 1/1 Zephyr Falcon. So
yeah.
Instead, I elect to. So this is funny. I need to get some kind of damage in, and I need the extra attacker. So I pump the Flying Men till end of turn so that it doesn't die from.
From unstable.
The unstable mutation, yeah. It should actually have 4 counters on it now, but it doesn't matter. We both knew like what its power and toughness was because we talked about it. And then I come in with that everything but the wolf. Of course, he chumps the big one and chumps the other 2, and then just takes 1 or 2 damage.
What your deck needs is it needs like Bloodlust or something, you know.
It needs Chain Lightning and Bloodlust.
Yeah.
Like there's so many games that I wanted Chain Lightning, and I am playing City of Brass, so like I could just put a few extra red sources.
Well, yeah, you could swap some forests for some taigas and put in some chains and some bloodlusts. All right, so he's blocking with the Drake and the Ghost Ship. So 2 of your guys munch it, the Asps and the Zephyrs, and then you drop another Zephyr. That guy is dead. Yeah. And so now Nick's just got total control. He's got regenerating mana. He's got bounce back, time elemental mana, and you've got 1 card in hand. So it looks like RIP. What's he thinking about? What's to think about here? Block with he can block with the Ghost Ship and regenerate. So he elects not to attack. That's what he was thinking. He was actually thinking about attacking for a minute. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
then you could have maybe beat him.
Yeah, now he's got Ghost Ship, and he's also got Time Elemental, so he can do whatever he wants. Like, I think I would have just. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter what he does. I pump the Serendib to force him to regenerate, because
Yeah.
if he has to regenerate, then he doesn't have enough mana to also time elemental. But it just doesn't matter. Like, both things are just too much for me to be able to get through.
And then he mana drains your extra Zephyr. So
Yeah.
now he's got 2 mana he needs to do something with, so he's going to activate the time elemental with it. Yep, bounce him back. Yep. Man, what a rough game.
So I thought he would bounce the Zephyr Falcon and attack me with both of his things there, possibly, if he wanted to be aggressive, but he just bounced the Serendib, which is also fine. But if I would have taken 4 from his Flyers and then also taken 1 from the Dib, I would have been down to 2. But, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter. And there's nothing I can do here. I can keep playing the Serendib again, but he can just keep bouncing it. So, there's really not a way out for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so this deck needs red. It needs Bloodlust, Chain Lightning, Pyrotechnics.
Aggro decks that don't have red in them suck.
Yeah.
I've known this for a long time. I don't know why I keep trying to make it work.
You can tell you're really trying to figure a way through it, because you're taking your time, you're thinking, you're contemplating, but you're like, oh my god.
There's just no way for me to get 5 damage, and it's just so frustrating. I'm like, is there any way that I can like sneak some damage in? But there just is not. Which just means that all he really has to do is let me just slowly die from the Serendib.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even have to attack me.
Right.
I think at some point he does, but he doesn't really need to. I'm not even sure what he's thinking about here.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's like,
he's just thinking about attacking or not attacking, but
yeah, he's really taking his time. I mean, he could just sit back and let you die from Serendib at this point.
Yeah,
he didn't have to do anything.
He decides not to do anything.
Yeah, he can just pass turn.
The right thing to do. And I just like need to attack because I need to get rid of that, but also like he'll just block with Ghost Ship or bounce it, so it's all just really moot.
Yeah, and even if you were to like get an unstable mutation, then he's like, okay, I'll just bounce your creature back with the time elemental.
Right. Yeah, it's really bad. Like, unstable would be a really bad draw at this point.
I'm surprised you didn't concede.
I just don't really ever concede, because you can always win to somebody else's mistakes.
That's true. All right, so
but there's not really there's really no reason that I should still be playing, because like there's not really a way to win.
Yeah, there's no out for you here. I mean, Boomerang might be something that could give you a way to get in, but there it is. All right, so Nick wins 2-0.
I'm like in the middle of decideboarding here. I'm like, why am I decideboarding? I'm never gonna play with this deck again. But I just start taking it apart.
Right.
But yeah, it's
So Nick's monos.
There it is.
Nick's mono blue Flyers beats John's blue green Ghazban Ogre Aggro, and so Nick's going to be moving on to the semifinals, and so Nick will move to the top semifinals slot. He'll either be playing Christopher Zach or Terry Hutchings, and then our bottom slot has Damien and William and Mike and Peter. So we've done the match of Mike and Peter. Won't give any spoilers there, but that match has been recorded and in the books, and we need to get the video released. So this weekend, hopefully Damien, Will, and Terry and Chris can all play, and then we'll have the semifinals loaded up and ready. Thanks for joining us for the video tonight, and thanks for commentating with me, John.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, man. Have a good night. I know it's late for you there.
Indeed.
Okay, cheers, man.
Good night.
Bye.